the coming elections in general. These and other matters we're discussing in this hour. And I'm asking you as well, how does the extension help voters? How does it help you, for example? Join the conversation via our social media pages on Twitter and Facebook at NigeriaInfo page, also YouTube. Just search for NigeriaInfo page. But I've got joining me via phone from Lagos right now, Serap's Deputy Director, Kola Wale Oluwadare. Kola, good evening to you, and you're welcome to Hard Facts.
Good evening, Dio. I'm happy to be here, but I really cannot hear you clearly, though. It's a bit faint.
Is it better now? Can you hear me better?
Yes, clearly. I can hear you clearly now.
All right, great. So let's get right to it then. So the court, the Federal High Court in Abuja, adjourned the matter till yesterday for the matter to be heard. Of course, an interim injunction had been issued already, and INEC must not suspend the CVR until the matter is dispensed with in the court. So the matter came up for hearing yesterday. I spoke to you about that earlier this morning. You confirmed that. What happened in court yesterday?
Thank you, Darren. I may not be able to comment on some of the substantive issues because the matter is still before the court, but I'll be able to speak to the narrative as to the sequence of events and the import on the continuous voter registration exercise. And so the matter came up in court yesterday, like you said, and the INEC got their lawyer in court to represent them, and they had filed and served their defense process through the motion or notice on SERAP just that's on Tuesday evening after 5 p.m. And so the court refused to set aside the ex parte order and clearly directed that parties in this sense means SERAP, INEC, must maintain status quo until the court determines otherwise. And the court stated that the matter will be given accelerated hearing. And what that means is that the case will be, the hearing will be sped up, as it were, and the court adjourned to the 4th of July for hearing. And so we're looking at the papers that INEC has filed, and our lawyers are working to respond to them. And the hearing will go on next week, as the court had decided. And so that it is. And the import, what that means, really, one need not be a lawyer to appreciate what that means is that INEC cannot discontinue the continuous voter registration exercise.
Now, this substantive matter of, SERAP's request that the court compel INEC to extend the process was to have been heard. The substantive matter was to have been heard yesterday. And I believe some persons, at least, hope that the matter would have been dispensed with yesterday as well. So, was the substantive matter itself heard yesterday?
No. So when you say substantive, there are two levels. There were 3 levels. There are 2 levels remaining. So our lawyers filed an originating summons before the court, which is the substantive matter, asking for specific relief, asking the court to grant some orders, primarily among which is to stop the discontinuation of the continuous voter registration exercise, giving some aspects of the Electoral Act. So the second level is to file what is called an ex parte application, which is the basis for the interim order that was granted. So in law, what an ex parte application does is that the other side will not be heard, as it were, because the matter is urgent, that is important. And the court can grant that pending when the second process is heard. So the third process in this case is called the motion on notice, that is what determines the subject matter until the substantive matter is heard. And the court asked the first process, which is the ex parte application, and granted that. That has what has stopped INEC from discontinuing so far. And then so the motion on notice, which is the second stage, is what should have been heard yesterday, and that is what the court adjourned for its hearing. And then so if the court is so-minded, which will be great if it happens, the court can determine the substantive matter with haste so that the matters are finally laid to rest in view of the importance of these to our electoral process.
Now, I don't know if you can speak to this. What was INEC's position in court yesterday?
I don't want to comment on those issues. They are live matters before the court. But like I said, they filed their processes, and we're studying them to respond appropriately before Monday.
Now, once again, just to be clear, this means that as we speak, the continuous voters registration exercise, which hitherto had been designed by INEC to end today, or at least be suspended today, is not suspended and still continues.
Yes, and to underscore that point, we've had INEC, both the chairman himself and other officials of INEC make commitments publicly to obey the order of court not to discontinue the process. Not necessarily because agents of government must agree to obey orders of court. This is just an additional fact to show that the INEC itself, having been to court, represented in court, and not claim to be ignorant or aware of this case, more so the order of the court has been served on them. And I believe that there is no reason why INEC will not obey this order of court. INEC has made a commitment in several occasions before now that it obeys order of court, and it has also said that it will obey this order and not to discontinue. And that's in the public domain. The chairman has said that, the other officers have said that. So, in matters of law, as far as the order of court is, the court directed parties to maintain status quo. It means that INEC cannot discontinue. That is the legal aspect. The factual aspect is the commitment made by INEC itself to publicly obey the order of court and not to discontinue the continuous voter registration exercise. And the third aspect, which is also related to the fact, is that INEC itself has made commitments several to obey order of court. And the last point, which I think is important, is the powers of the judiciary is vested in them by the Constitution. And so every authority and person, individuals, government, no matter how they placed, according to the principle of rule of law, obeys the law of the land, which includes orders made by the courts. There's really no reason that the continuous registration will not continue. So all we can do is to encourage Nigerians to continue to troop out to those centers and register so that they can be able to vote, delegate vote in 2023.
Now, remember, I think it was the last time we spoke about this matter, and I think that's the only time we did, or maybe the time before that. I did ask you if Serap had corresponded or made any attempts to reach out to INEC to understand, and you told me that Serap had written to INEC, but you received no response. Now, since you filed your suit in court, and this matter has progressed in court up until yesterday, now it's an adjournment for Monday, has INEC responded to your correspondence, or has INEC reached out in any way at all to Serap?
What we have by way of response, which we do think is sufficient as far as law is concerned, is the process for the lawyer in court, which has been served on Serap. In law, that is sufficient response. That conveys INEC's official position before the court. And that is the one we are studying, working on presently to respond to.
Now, is Serap considering maybe withdrawing this suit? And I asked that on this basis. I'm sure you must have heard at Serap as well, that INEC officials, even the chairman at different events, have spoken suggestively, some of them even somewhat definitively, that INEC is considering an extension of the CVR, and some have also hinted or spoken definitively. It does appear the feelers or reports from
there is nothing that suggests anything to the contrary, really. But the only reason why we have to go on with this suit is that the live issues are yet to be determined by the court. And so a court case is not to be withdrawn based on statements made to the public. In law, our lawyers would advise us accordingly. The legal issues have been submitted to the court to be determined. And so there are still live issues for the court to determine as it were. And I believe this can be wrapped up pretty within this month, at least by the court, since the court has directed that the matter will be had expeditiously. So really, there are still live issues to determine for the courts.
So when you say you perceive because of the the court is going to expedite hearing on this matter, and you just said that you believe the matter will be done with this month. Well, I perceive you're referring to next month because this month ends today. So I perceive you're referring
to July.
Okay,
yes.
you're referring
to John to 4th of July.
So does that mean that you do not think that the matter will be dispensed with on July 4th, Monday?
Yeah, it can. The only reason I said that is I cannot preempt the court. But it can. If the court has adjourned to hear it, give it a selected hearing, subject to the parties being prepared for the court and no unforeseen circumstance comes up to truncate that date. The court can. It has the power. And the willingness of the court to adjourn to short date and to grant accelerated hearing, of course, is very suggestive of the court's willingness to dispense with this matter, knowing fully well the importance of this to Nigeria, to Nigerians and the democratic process itself. Because ideally, there's no lawyer. The lawyers will tell you cannot go to court on Wednesday and get a date for the next Monday. It just doesn't happen.
It is hard facts to NigeriaInfo here in Port Harcourt discussing Serap suit seeking to compel INEC to extend CVR. And that suit, by the way, has been adjourned to July 4. But we'll go on a quick break right now. We'll return shortly. Conversation will continue. You can be a part of it.
Stay with us. Nigeria Info.
The headlines. River State government brings down what is left of three-story building which partially collapsed yesterday. And PDP presidential candidate Abubakar Atiku confident his party will remain united. And Benue State Governor Samuel Otom says he will withhold his support for Atiku. And PDP reacts to rumoured internal crisis. NDLEA arrests female drug kingpin in River State. 11 UK deportees arrive Lagos. In business, Minister of Power Abubakar Aliyu blames terrorists for frequent power outages. In entertainment, hip-hop artist Portable reports himself to Ogun State Police Command. In sports, Premier League club Tottenham conclude deal to sign Brazilian player Richarlison from Everton. On the foreign scene, Ferdinand Marcos Jr. sworn in as Philippine president. And Russia denies attacking crowded shopping center in Ukrainian town of Kremenchuk. Those are the headlines. Details at 6 p.m. But remember, get your PVC and be actively involved in the electioneering process. Thanks for listening. I'm Ade Dayo. Good evening. Info and Hearing Punhaka time dial. We got 26 minutes to go before 6 p.m. Top of the hour at 6. The major news comes up. A review of every matter discussed on the show comes up afterwards during the open season segments. Do stay tuned for that. But for the moment, conversation with Kolawole Oluwadare, Deputy Director at SERAP, continues. Kola, welcome back.
Thank you very much, Barry.
And we're discussing SERAP's efforts to compel INEC to extend the CVR. The matter is in court. It was heard yesterday, has been adjourned to July 4. And by the way, considering the interim injunction granted by the Federal High Court in Abuja, barring INEC from suspending the process until the matter is completely dispensed with, it means that the deadline set by INEC for June 30 to suspend the exercise no longer holds. In other words, the CVR exercise continues as we speak. Get registered. They may have closed today. Monday, you can still do that. If they're not open over the weekend, you can continue on Monday for as long as this matter is being heard. And I guess we'll wait to see what the courts decide eventually. If it will rule in SERAP's favor to compel INEC to extend the process, or well, whatever other way the court decides to rule. But let's get your take on this matter right now. The lines are open. Call 0817 923 0002 or 0817 923 0003 or 0817 923 0007. WhatsApp is on 0809 030 6416. And we are live on Facebook and Twitter at NigeriaInfo PH. Also live on YouTube, by the way. Just search for NigeriaInfo PH. Speaking of Facebook, Gospel Worker Girls, I think the INEC voters registration exercise extension will give room for more eligible voters to register. Thus, many eligible voters will not be disenfranchised. All right. Well, how about you? What do you make of this development? Once again, join the conversation via Twitter and Facebook, via WhatsApp and the phone lines. Good evening, Dio, and well done, Serap. I believe the courts will act in the interest of Nigerians, but I'm also wondering why the online portal is closed since INEC is staying in action based on the court order. That's an answer from Ada George. Kola, could you respond to that, please? Because that's come up severally also. Since INEC cannot end the process because of this interim injunction, the online portal for the pre-registration was shut down, I think, a month ago, and it still remains shut now. So what's the status of that?
Those are some of the issues we are converting in the substantive soup. So those issues to be resolved.
All right. Go ahead.
The issue of INEC voter registration and postponement by payers, I think what I can say is, even if you postpone this exercise a day before election, from Nigeria will no register. And every day, one person will add to become a.
Hello? Hello, are you there? Oh, I guess you may have to call back. Want to get numbers are 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0003, or 0817 923 0007. Those are the numbers to call. WhatsApp once again on 0809 030 6416. Speaking of WhatsApp, dial those of us that registered since. Okay, I think I have another call. Hello, Hard Fact, welcome.
Hello?
Hi, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, as much as I appreciate what Seraph is doing, but I think it's also important that it's not only about taking INEC to court to extend it, but we should also, I hope that.
Oh my, sadly we lost that call was truncated as well. But do call back. I really am curious to find out what that caller thinks is another important thing that needs to be considered. So please do call back in if you can, or send a message via WhatsApp on 0809 030 6416. Hello, Hard Fact, welcome. Go ahead, just go ahead. Go ahead.
What I was saying is that every day, one person will turn 18. If you said it, I continue extend the registration, that more eligible voters will register. It means that you don't want INEC to have a program timetable that they can work with to enable them to do a credible election. Because if they are not sure of how many persons will register within this year or next